morning everyone, and welcome to Kent in the United Kingdom. This is the NXTGEN Racing MX-5 Cup and it's round 3 of the championship. My name is Alex Everett, and not alongside me today is Paul Walsh, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. Our co-commentator who usually joins us in the booth is not here today. He's driving a car around Snetterton for some reason or another, but he'll be back next week. He'll be on his own next week and the week after, so you won't see me and Paul Walsh in the commentary booth together for quite some time, until I think it might be round 6. But the show will go on, as Queen says. And speaking of the Queen, this is the royalty of tracks when it comes to British motorsport. We're in South East England, the Kent region. In fact, the TOCA series was here yesterday, but not on this variation of the track. This is the Grand Prix layout of Brands Hatch, located in Kent, 25 miles southeast of London. And Murray Walker did come up with a very famous quote that I can't remember exactly, but it was complimenting the track very greatly, basically saying you don't need any new tracks anywhere. You've got Brands Hatch to go to. Being his favourite track, he'd probably fill up the Formula 1 calendar with Brands Hatch entirely. But of course, Formula 1 is not visiting Brands Hatch anymore, as it is a fairly short track for the Formula 1 criteria. But this version of Brands Hatch, it started off with just the Indy circuit, which was about half the length of this. The Grand Prix layout, the extension was built in 1960. We have 9 turns here, there's 6 to the right and 3 to the left. And over the years, Brands Hatch has hosted many a racing series and still does to this day. It still hosts the Fanatec GT World Challenge and still hosts the BTCC. Of course, it was yesterday at the Indy circuit, with Josh Cook taking 2 wins and Colin Turkington taking the 3rd race win. Which was very exciting. There were a lot of drivers who are racing tonight in this series who were racing there yesterday, to name but a few. Maurice Henry, Liam McNeilly and Mikey Doble. So plenty of drivers fresh out of this track and into the next gen racing series we've got here. But over the years, Brands Hatch has hosted many a series, including 14 Formula 1 Grand Prix, 5 World Touring Car races, many DTM races, many GT races including Blancpain and the World GT Challenge, and it is the traditional finale of the BTCC. So tonight we have the Next Gen Racing MX-5 Cup. This is the 3rd round of the championship, and this is how the season will go, as we need to go on throughout the season. We started off 2 weeks ago at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg in the mountains of Styria in Austria, and then we went even further north to surprisingly colder Knockhill circuit in round 2 of the championship. That was 1 week ago today. Today we're at Brands Hatch GP circuit, and next week we'll be heading northwest to Cheshire for the Alton Park circuit, which will be a very, very interesting race indeed. Not the layouts of Alton Park that we are so familiar with other racing series. We'll be using no chicane, so it'll be a very fast, action-packed round next week at Alton Park. And then round 5 of the championship, 2 weeks from today, will be a 2-hour endurance at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. So normally we have 3 races on in one night, 2 15-minute races and then a 25-minute feature race at the end, which will be running tonight. But that race at Spa on the 30th of May for round 5 will be just 1 2-hour endurance. The second half of the season will start off just down the road from me in Northampton for the Silverstone National Circuit on the 13th of June. Then for round 7 of the championship, it will be the Snetterton 200 layout. So it's the simpler layout of Snetterton, not using the infield, which was built about 10 to 15 years ago. We'll be using the outer layout, as it's referred to, the 200 layout of Snetterton. Then we'll be heading over the pond to Watkins Glen in the New York State for the Cup circuit of round 8 of the championship. Then we'll be heading south to Florida State to Daytona, but not the Daytona road course that we know so well with the Rolex 24 Hours. No, we'll be racing these MX-5 Cup cars on the oval circuit in its entirety. So that's going to be a very, very interesting round indeed. So one certainly worth tuning in for. It's going to be a lot of bump drafting. It's going to be rather like a NASCAR race. So that's going to be very interesting indeed. Looking forward to that one. But then the final round is back to normality on circuit racing. We're in France for iRacing's only track in France at the moment, as Magny-Cours is coming to iRacing, which is very exciting indeed for the old school Formula 1 fan like myself, watching Formula 1 racing France at Monaco in the 90s. But round 10 is actually going to be hosted at the Le Mans circuit, one of the most legendary circuits in the world, hosting the 24 Hours of Le Mans, of course, every July. But it'll be a 2-hour endurance as opposed to 24-hour endurance for the final round of the championship to finish it all off. You can still get involved in the series if you wish to. There are still spaces, even though we have got a fairly packed grid. I think we've got 30 drivers today, just counted 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 drivers right now on the grid. It's going to be an interesting one tonight, but you can still get involved if you wish to. It's £20 for 10 rounds, so if my maths are right, for the remainder of the series after tonight, it will be £14 to enter the whole series. Our prizes are available for the categories, and of course getting involved in this part of the series, there are drop rounds involved, so you still will have a chance of the championships to get in while you can. It's a fixed setup series, so basically what that means is every driver has the same setup and you are not allowed to change it. Every person has the same car with the same settings, same tyre pressure, same cambers, all of that. So it is an even playing field, rather like what we had with the A1 series that we had some years ago, where everyone was on a fixed setup in the same car. There are pro and AM classes, so if you are a pro driver, or you consider yourself a pro driver with a high rating, or you race in real life, or you are just damn right good, you can race in the pro category. Whereas if you're a little less experienced, a little less comfortable, you can race in the AM category, for drivers who are a bit less confident, as I mentioned. Race against some big world names, of course, to mention but a few. We have Liam McNeilly and Maurice Henry, who race in the Ginetta Junior Series in the Tocker package. We have Mikey Doble, who races in the Senior Ginettas in the Tocker package. And every now and again we have BTCC drivers such as Dan Rowbottom, Adam Morgan, and of course Bobby Thompson, who got himself a podium yesterday at Brands Hatch, who join the series every now and again. So there's big names to race against, but also some sim racing veterans, I'll call them. A lot of drivers who are very, very familiar with this series, the likes of Adam Delmont, Jamie Dory, great drivers to race against. So get involved if you wish to. So we are not far away from qualifying, but a little bit more housekeeping to get things going. And actually, I haven't actually logged in my championship standing, so I just do that very quickly. That's usually something I do on the dot. But here we go. We have got 3 championship standings to show you, the first of which will be the pro category standings. So these are the drivers aforementioned. The drivers are a lot more experienced, high rating on iRacing and racing real life perhaps. But at the top of the field we have 2 drivers who do race in real life. It's Liam McNeilly and William Chadwick. So Liam McNeilly had an almost perfect night in round 1. William Chadwick had an almost perfect night. In fact, he did have a perfect night, apart from not getting pole position, I believe it was. So 1 point away from maximum points for William Chadwick last time out at Knockhill. So the Fordzilla drivers are dominating things at the moment, but they're in good company as Chris Daines, who is in fact dominating the LMP2 category on Wednesday nights at NXTGEN Racing for the Proto GT3 Cup. He's on 100 points in 3rd position. We have Dan Skinner in 4th place, who's got himself a win this season at the Red Bull Ring for race 3. So a big competitor in this category. Just 2 points behind him is our league host, Jamie Dory, in the 13 car. John Higgins Jr. takes up 6th position with Adam Delmont, who's looking to get his season well and truly underway. He had a fairly decent Knockhill round, but he'll be looking for even better this time around. He was the runner-up last season. Rob McGregor takes 8th position in the category with Aidan Wilson in 9th, Wayne Douglas in 10th. And in 11th place at the moment it is Mikey Doble, our defending champion. Now he missed the last round at Knockhill, and there are drop rounds, so Mikey Doble will be looking to get good points in this round to get himself in contention for the championship. But when drop rounds get applied, that's when Mikey Doble will surely be taking the top spots along with McNealy, Chadwick, Daines and so on. James Warrior takes 12th position with Mick Clibbins in 13th and Marcello Pagnan in 14th position. We have the AM category coming up next, and these, as we mentioned, drivers who are not as experienced as the pro drivers, but they have their own category to fight amongst themselves essentially. Joncarlo Schooler had a very good round last time out at Knockhill, almost perfect, only 2 out of 3 wins but it was a very good round indeed, and he takes a commanding lead in the AM category championship with Sam Smith in second position. Olly Peters picked up a win last time out at Knockhill and also a win at the Red Bull Ring, so he's scoring good points. He's there in third position. Michael Lees, now he was in the pro category and he has requested to put himself down into AM category and has been granted by the admins. Of course you can request it, but it doesn't automatically mean you're going to be put in a different category. But Michael Lees has been put down into the AM category and he sits a very healthy fourth in category, so he can establish his season now, get it underway and battle amongst the other AM drivers. Jeff Perkis in the 5th position there, with Nigel Stock in 6th position. John Higgins Sr., that is, in 7th position with Alan McCain 8th. Paul Scott is 9th, and Lee Horn is another driver who's requested to be put down into the AM category. He was granted and he's been put himself into 10th in the championship for this category. Thomas Delaney 11th, James Clark 12th, Mark Anthony McLaughlin in 13th, Bud Dobson in 14th with Matthew Addy 15th and Jamie Nicholson in 16th position. We also have a teams championship. So the teams championship points are tallied based on the driver's overall finishing position in each race. Teams can have up to 3 drivers per team, and the top 2 drivers in each team per race contribute points to the team. Fordzilla, who have 2 drivers in their team, so both their drivers score in every round, and that is Liam McNeilly and William Chadwick. They are on 201 points, with not such a big gap over Next Gen Racing Team Orange. And we are just ticking over into qualifying, so we'll catch up with the action very, very shortly. But the Team Orange team consists of Adam Delmont, Lee Horn and Jamie Dorey. HSR2 are in 3rd place, and they consist of Rob McGregor, James Warrior and Aidan Wilson. So that is the championship standings heading into tonight, and we'll catch up with the action now. We've got drivers out on track doing their outlap in qualifying right here. We've got a 15-minute session awaiting us here. We'll get an onboard lap off the circuit very, very shortly once drivers head their way around the track. We've got Brands Hatch. What track this is fairly narrow compared to a lot of other tracks on iRacing. And the UK is synonymous with tracks like this that are quite narrow. Thruxton is definitely one of them, as is Alton Park. But it is notorious British tracks that deliver such great racing that you're going to see today. As I mentioned, we have near 30 drivers in the server right now, which makes it the biggest grid of the season, and you can see them all heading down the back straights there on the track map on the right of our screen there, heading down through Pilgrim's Drop and Hawthorne Bend. Right now there's a lot of drivers heading through. It's going to be great to see all of this take place tonight. And look at them all filtering through the Dingle Dell now. And we are going to get ourselves an onboard lap with one of these drivers, and I am going to pick on one of the Fordzilla drivers again, and it's going to be William Chadwick, who got himself a 3-peat of victories last time out at round 2 of the championship. So as we head into the final corner of Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit to start a flying lap here, along the Brabham Straight we go. It's not really a straight, but we'll just call it that for the sake of it being named that. Up the hill and then down the hill again. This is Paddock Hill Bend. Famously in 1995, John Cannons went off here and shouted, we're off at Paddock. But we are not off at Paddock. We're through, and we're at Pilgrim's Rise and into Druids Bend. Sharp hairpin right here. Following his teammate McNealy through is Chadwick, heading down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. Graham Hill, the famous Formula 1 driver, father of Damon Hill, of course. Out of Graham Hill we go, along the Cooper Straight. Again, not straight, but we'll still call it that. Into Surtees, a long left-hander here. The Indy circuit we usually go right, but we're going to go left, and on to Pilgrim's Drop we go. The long straight here, the longest straight on the circuit. Heading over to the... heading down Pilgrim's Drop now and into Hawthorne Bend. And along the Derek Minter Straight, maybe another fast right-hander through Westfield Bend. taking a lot of the curb, and then the outside curve there, not taking too much to invalidate your lap. Through Dingle Dell we go, and then into Sheen's. Very fast right-hander, one you can upset the rear of car on as it just heads over a Crest, but looks very clean from Chadwick so far, into the left-hander of Sterling's. Taking plenty of that inside curve. Now they swap positions. Mcnealy will want the next lap behind Chadwick, as he'll want the draft. Clearways, and now Clark curve. Oh, missing the curve a little bit there, but it looks fairly decent. Coming out of the corner, and that is a lap of Brands Hatch Grand Prix.
Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. I was just trying to sort out my microphone. It's back working now, and I hadn't realised it wasn't working for the start of that. We had the wrong device assigned, but it should be back to normal now. And hoping you kind of heard our lap on board William Chadwick there. I'll do it again later if we need to. But let me know if it's better. It should be better now, but apologies for that. Right, qualifying, here we go. William Chadwick, top of the standings. And we did see him swap positions with Mcnealy, heading down clearways. So this will mean Mcnealy is on his flying lap now. He'll purposely do, well, not purposely do a slow lap, but he'll do one that is not quite up to speed as much as he'd want. In fact, he was invalidated his last lap. So this one will be the one, as long as he doesn't get held up too much. There's a lot of cars running a bit slower than the Fortilla guys up here, up front. And we'll check on the other guys very, very soon. Oh, and blinking in and out there is Mcnealy. We had a few issues with him doing that in the previous race. Now through goes Mcnealy, and he goes to the top of the standings, 2/10 quicker than his teammate. Now the advantage for Mcnealy there is his tyres are probably a bit more warmed up than Chadwick, so Chadwick will have to do it on another lap, but he's held up just ahead of him by, can't quite make out what car that is just ahead of him, the 212 car. Don't recognise that. Who is that? Who is that? Oh, that's Alan McCain. Of course it is. Of course it is. Do recognise that car. And this will be a fairly bad lap for the Fortilla drivers as they had to make their way around the AM category driver. But speaking of AM category, it's Joncarlo Schooler at the top of the standings at the moment. Now, he dominated Knockhill last time out. And we see Alan McCain there off the track in the background, but he'll be able to reset and get himself back out on track. But Joncarlo Schooler here, very quick at Knockhill, and it seems very quick here today. He's only 2/10 off of Liam McNeilly. Top of the pro category and overall, so yeah, Schooler's got to be careful he doesn't get promoted to the pro category. We'll see, we'll see. Mikey Doble, a big welcome back to him, just ahead of Schooler here. He's in 4th at the moment. He'll be looking to get his season off and running. He had a fairly decent round last time out at the Red Bull Ring. Let's take a look at his results. He got himself 3rd, 2nd and 5th, so a pretty decent line of results there. So he'll have to try and maintain that going into tonight. And he's got next-gen driver. Is that Jamie Dory right behind him? I believe it might be. It might actually be Lee Horn right behind. It is not. It's Adam Delmont right behind him. I always get the 2 mixed up. Or the 3 mixed up. But Adam Delmont in next-gen colours. I'm still getting rather used to it. He puts himself into 2nd. Just shy of a 10th, 82 thousandths off of top spot, Liam McNeilly. Now, Adam Delmont has been frustrated in a lot of races this season. Not quite getting the results that he really, really wants and feels like he should be getting. But there's drop rounds at play. There's a lot of races to go through this season, 30 in total. And we've only done 6. So there's plenty of opportunities for Delmont, who sits in the championship coming into tonight. Tied 6th with John Higgins Jr. So he's in a good spot, but he'll be looking for more. Let's see what else is going on out on track. We've got a couple of new drivers tonight, so let's introduce them. We've got William Foyle joining us from Crest Autosport with Apex Tracks. He'll be teammates with Nigel Stock and Olly Peters. The 44 number car, probably one of the most famous numbers in motorsport, is the 44 car. But William Foyle, who did race quite a lot in the Legend Series, as we see him run off there at Sheens, and he slows down to let the car by, and I think that was Dan Skinner who's let him by there. He's got the Fordzilla guys coming after him here, and he's pulling over to just let them through. But William Foyle, welcome back to the Next Gen Series for tonight. He races very regularly on the Wednesday night, but he fancies giving the MX-5s a go tonight. Other new drivers tonight. We do have Maurice Henry entered, but he hasn't quite entered the server yet. But we'll move on to another new driver. This is Dan James, and he is teammates with Chris Daines. Now, Chris Daines, I don't think is racing tonight, unfortunately. But representing the Verano Motorsport team will be a new driver to the series, Dan James, in the 94 car tonight, in the very striking day-glow yellow livery there. Very, very nice livery. I like yellow's my favourite colour, so I indeed love that livery. And he's following Nigel Stock down into the Graham Hill Bend. He seems to be held up there. But at the moment, Dan James down in 22nd, might be looking for a clean lap. We'll see how he gets on for the rest of the session. We've got just over 5 minutes to go, so it is running by very, very quickly here. Mikey Doble up here, defending champion, of course. He's got a little bit of the draft ahead of him from, I think that is John Higgins Jr. just ahead of him, who pulls over to let him by. It was John Higgins Jr., who is 6th in the standings at the moment. Good performance from him. Joncarlo Schooler's getting a very healthy draft here from Adam Delmont, but he twitches sideways, and he might be holding up the Fordzilla driver of Mcnealy here, but the AM category driver here getting in amongst it, trying to keep up with the pro drivers, which is helping him secure his AM category pole position for the time being. We got Sam Smith and William Foyle, who'll be looking to try and beat Schooler to that pole spot in the AM category. Of course, they don't line up first on the grid outright, the AM categories, unless they get pole overall, but they do get a bonus point for being the fastest in qualifying in their category. And Schooler coming in to take on tyres, it seems, ready for the last part of the session. No improvements from Chadwick or McNealy on that lap then. But McNealy going very fast around Paddock Hill Bend there to try and get himself an even better time here, it seems. Drivers who haven't set a time yet are Michael Leese, Aidan Wilson and Tom Delaney. So we're looking out for them to get themselves on the board very soon. We do have 30 drivers exactly in the server, which is brilliant. Brilliant milestone to hit there. Who else have we got in this session? Who might be on fast laps at the moment? Let's take a look to number 15 position here. Rob McGregor towing along. I think that's Dan Skinner back there, but across goes Rob McGregor. Does he move up the standings? He doesn't. Dan Skinner, I think he might have just put himself into 11th place overall. So good stuff from Dan Skinner, who again has won a race this season, and he's 4th in the championship, the pro category championship. So 11th he won't be all that pleased with right now. He'd be looking for a bit better than that, but there's still time in this session. Let's see how he gets on. Looking at the AM category as again, Joncarlo Schooler and Sam Smith are 1-2 in the championship. They're 1-2 in qualifying at the moment. 3rd in the championship for the AM category is Olly Peters, 17th overall and 7th in category right now. So you'll definitely be wanting a bit better. I mean, practice he did have a good time, I seem to remember seeing. I think he was 3rd or 4th in practice. So he's got it in the tank. He just needs to extract it from the car, get himself a nice clean lap. Oh, as a car goes wide up ahead there, I think that might have been Nigel Stock, or actually it might have been William Foyle for that matter. But going through Surtees there, it was William Foyle up ahead of Olly Peters there. Jumping into 2nd place in category is James Clark. Now I saw James Clark the quickest in category in practice, and that's a very good lap indeed for Clark, who has got the Simtech racing driver of Sam Smith just behind. And Sam Smith, oh, that's not Sam Smith actually, it's someone else, do excuse me. But driver behind be getting a good draft here from James Clark here, and it's the number 7 driver of Craig Cockrell. And I think this is his first race of the season, is Craig Cockrell's. So, see how he gets on. Sam Smith improved his time and he put himself up to 8th place, I believe. So, good showing from the Simtech and iRacing driver. Schooler's still in the pits. He has decided not to come back out. He must be satisfied with his qualifying at the moment. But as we head into the final stages of qualifying here, these drivers will be crossing the line, and it will probably be their final lap next time. So at the head of this battle, we've got Adam Delmont. Right behind, we've got Mikey Doble, defending champion. And Adam Delmont was runner-up to Mikey Doble last season, remember. And then we've got the two Fordzilla drivers behind. Back here as well, we've got Wayne Douglas, who's no slouch, 12th in the category at the moment, 12th overall at the moment. So as we go, heading through the final corner, Adam Delmont heads this pack that are looking to better one another. Adam Delmont seems content that he doesn't have a draft, and look at this long trail of MX-5 cars, a big hole in the air, helping the cars at the back. Through Paddock Hill Bend we go. Mikey Doble, the second of the cars there, will be looking to see who gets closest out of these 4, 5, even 6 drivers here. Through Druids, the Fordzilla drivers back here, Mcnealy and Chadwick looking very good indeed. Mcnealy top of the standings. Was it Mcnealy who took pole position last time out? I'm just going to check. Yes, it was. He took pole at Knockhill, but he didn't take any wins, which is the first time since he joined the series he hasn't taken a win on a night. So a streak that was broken by his teammate William Chadwick, of course. As we head down Pilgrim's Drop and into Hawthorns, Mikey Doble seems to be on a good one here. He's closing into Adam Delmont, and I think he's breaking away from the Fordzilla drivers. If this is a valid lap, this could be something special from Mikey Doble here. The driver who takes part in the Janetta Cup in the Tucker package. Very popular face on this channel, on this series. 3 times champion in the Next Gen Racing Monday Night Championships. Twice a Legends Cup champion and once an MX-5 champion. Adam Delmont gets out the way of Mikey Doble. He knows he's on a good and he doesn't want to compromise it. Very sportsman from Adam Delmont. Through the final corner we go. Will Mikey Doble take pole position here? The Fordzilla drivers have peeled off. They can't do it. They've invalidated their lap. Mikey Doble might be the only one to take pole position here. Can he do it? Across the line he goes. Oh, he does improve in his time, but it doesn't go to the top. However, Wayne Douglas puts himself into 6th place. We did mention just a lap ago that he's no slouch and he can put in good times. He did. He puts himself 6th position. Bravo indeed for the 66 numbered driver. And there's a lot of drivers heading to Druids there, which means a lot of drivers have finished their laps. Rob McGregor into the top 10. He'd be pleased with that. But will he be satisfied enough? He comes across the line. He seems happy. Does it put him higher up? No, it doesn't. So Rob McGregor remains where he is. We have also got out on track. William Foyle is still out there, as is Matt Emmons. So let's keep an eye on them. Nigel Stock is on track, but he's completed his lap, as has Wayne Douglas and Rob McGregor. So here we go, 2 more drivers to come through. Can William Foyle get himself higher up? His first race of the season, so this is rather impressive, but he's taking a wide line here. This might be a practice lap, might not go higher. And he does stay 11th, in fact. And that will be it for qualifying here at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. And it's Liam McNeilly who takes another pole position in the series. But he's kept company by his rivals Delmont, Chadwick, Doble and Douglas. Schooler there in the AM category. He won't want to contend too much unless he's going to be promoted to the pro category at some point this season. It might happen. It can happen. It has happened to drivers in the past. But we're not going to speculate on that for now. He is AM category. That's the end of qualifying. We're just waiting for drivers to finish things off here, and then we'll run through the grid because we are going straight into race 1 here, which will be a 15-minute race. Here we go. We are setting ourselves into qualifying here, and the drivers start lining up on the grid. Here is the grid for race 1. 30 drivers will line up on the grid with Liam McNeilly heading the grid. Adam Delmont will take the next spot on the front row, with William Chadwick lining right behind his teammate in 3rd. Joncarlo Schooler, the first of the AM category drivers, in 4th, with Mikey Doble defending champion in 5th. Wayne Douglas will take 6th position with John Higgins Jr. in 7th position. James Clark in 8th with Sam Smith 2nd in the championship in AMS, 9th. Rob McGregor is 10th with William Foyle, newcomer to the series. To the season, should I say, he's in 11th. Jamie Dory, our league host, is in 12th position with Dan Skinner in 13th position. Lee Horn is 14th with Bud Dobson in 15th position. Nick Clibbins lines up 16th. Alan McCain 17th with Ollie Peters, 3rd in the AM category championship, 18th. Craig Cockrell in 19th with John Higgins Sr. in 20th. Jamie Nicholson in 21st with Nigel Stock lining up 22nd. Michael Lease lines up 23rd with Matt Emmons in 24th. Paul Scott, last year's AM category champion, 25th. Dan James, newcomer to the series, in 26th with Mark Anthony 27th. Jeff Perkis, Mark Anthony McLaughlin in 27th with Jeff Perkis 28th. The safety car is apparently 29th, but it's not. It will be Aidan Wilson in 29th, and in 30th will be Tom Delaney. Whew, catch my breath now, but we're about to get underway for the first race of the night. This is the Next Gen Racing MX-5 Cup, round 3 at Brands Hatch. My name's Alex Everett. Welcome along to Crest Autosport TV. If you're watching on YouTube and Twitch, if you're watching on Facebook, welcome to Next Gen Racing TV. Whatever channel you're watching on, please do give us a like, follow, and or subscribe from wherever you are watching. It does help the series. It does help the channels. So, first race of the night. Normally, me and Paul put our money down at this point, but we're not head-to-head here. We're about to get underway. First race of the night. The lights will turn red, and then they'll go out to indicate we're racing, and it's very quickly. We're underway for racing, and it looks like a pretty decent start from the Fordzilla driver of Mcnealy, but straight away to the inside goes Delmont with the blinking in and out. Mcnealy taking to Paddock Hill Bend to start this race. Mikey Doble's had a good start from 5th place. He might be getting himself alongside and past Schooler very early on here. He does. Takes to the inside, and Schooler is dropping places. He's isolated on the outside there. Higgins Jr. finds his way past Schooler, heading round Druids Bend as well. A few positions dropped, but that won't matter to Schooler in his category. Through Graham Hill Bend we go. Oh, and there's a driver off. It's Lee Horn. Lee Horn has spun off in the middle there, and I think there's another driver off. It is Matt Emmons as well. It's disaster for Next Gen already, as 2 of their drivers are off and well down the order. The racing continues on at the front here, though. Liam McNeilly guarding the inside from Delmont. He's forcing Delmont to the outside for Hawthorns here, trying to help Chadwick get to the inside and help himself out. Into the next corner we go, which is Westfield Bend. Still on the outside is Delmont. He's got to be really careful here. He cannot lose too much momentum. Pushing each other along. In the middle here is Chadwick. He's being pushed by Doble, but he's got the inside on Delmont here. Oh, and there's contact between the two. Off the road they go, but they're able to keep it going, thankfully. Chadwick made side-to-side contact with Delmont, and it sends him off into the gravel, but he's able to keep going. He's lost a lot of momentum. He's going to have a lot of dirt on his tyres as well. Is Delmont on the outside here of John Higgins Jr. Through the corner we go. There's door-to-door contact, and Delmont's gone wide again. Oh, and he spun it into James Clark, and that is a big crash on the pit straight there. Delmont will not be happy right now. Into the pits there, you can see is James Clark there. He had a good practice session, and it looks like his race might be over and done with already unless he can get a fast repair. It looked like he managed to get in the pits there. It's just whether he can get to his pit box. Now, that was quite a dramatic lap indeed. Adam Delmont, who was desperately looking for a good round today, it has not started well, and it's going to have to be a big surge through the field for remaining 2 races of the night. This is the front 3. Mcnealy leading from Doble, who's gained 3 places. He's had a brilliant opening lap here at Brands Hatch. In the AM category, Schooler still leads, but he's in good company from Sam Smith at the moment, who'll be looking to get past and try and catch up in the championship. Back here, we got a battle between William Foyle and Dan Skinner. Foyle takes to the outside, so we head round Hawthorns, and he maintains 10th position. The newcomer to this season, doing well on this opening night here. Right, let's see what's going on with Adam Delmont. He's still in the pits, as is James Clark, and I think Adam Delmont might be leaving the pits soon. Don't think he is, so we'll revert to the action here. Higgins has gained a position. Oh, and back there, Wayne Douglas getting very, very loose. Let's just take a quick replay of that to see what happened. Oh, and Higgins sliding to the inside, and Douglas couldn't see him sneak that through, and he runs off wide and loses a lot of momentum. That's the thing about Brands Hatch. You cannot lose momentum. You cannot end up on the outside. We saw it from drivers in the BTCC yesterday. But speaking of which, it's a move from Mikey Doble for the lead, and Liam McNeilly undercuts to the inside as we head up to Druids. Into Druids we go, and McNeilly has the better line, and Mikey Doble has to tuck back in behind. Let's get a quick shot of that. Move from Mikey Doble, and he just sneaks it to the inside. We saw a lot of drivers doing that yesterday in the BTCC. And it didn't quite work as he washed out wide. And he'll have to try again on another lap here. Up ahead of these drivers here, that is James Clark trying to stay on the lead lap here. We also have Tom Delaney, who is out of this race, it seems, as well. Mark Anthony McLaughlin is in the pits as well. James Clark moves over to let the leaders through. Mikey Doble trying all areas, but McNealy forced him to the outside again to try and help out Chadwick. Maybe he's probably thinking Chadwick can sneak it to the inside of Mikey Doble, but it's not to be on this corner or this lap at the moment. Through Westfield Bend and through Dingle Dell we go, which used to be a chicane, now just a fast right-hander. Through Sheens we go. Oh, and McNealy getting very, very twitchy on the outside there. Oh, and off the track there, that's Wayne Douglas. Back onto the track. He's on the inside of William Foyle here, but Foyle keeps it nice and snug on the outside there. Gains another place, and into 8th place goes William Foyle, but it's not going well for Wayne Douglas here. Skinner's on his inside now, and through goes Skinner into 9th position. It's not been a good start to the race for Wayne Douglas, who has really, really got to get the hammer down to try and gain some more positions here. Get himself back to where he started. Into Paddock Hill Bend we go. Douglas on the outside, can't quite make it. He's got Jamie Dory right behind him as well, and we know Jamie Dory is very quick indeed, but we've got a lot of changes up the front here. We keep missing it. Do excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, trying to watch other people in the race to keep it fair. But Chadwick has moved into the lead here, but no, McNealy is back in front now. I'm going to see if we can get a quick shot of that to see what happened while we have a bit of time off. So here we go. Guarding inside there was McNealy, and Chadwick sends it round the outside as McNealy held up Mikey Doble and nearly got himself into the lead, but it gets Chadwick in front of Mikey Doble, and it makes it a Fordzilla 1-2, which is much easier to defend than a 1-3. Mikey Doble to the outside of Chadwick, heading into Hawthorns here, but that's not the easiest place to overtake on the outside, but it's the only place that Doble can go. On the brakes, trying to dab the brakes a little bit to tuck back behind Chadwick there was Doble, and this battling here is allowing the drivers behind to catch up. That's Higgins and Schooler in the background there, slowly catching up as these three battle. McNealy has broken away a little bit here as he runs wide, heading out of Sheen's and into Sterling's. That doesn't seem to have lost him much momentum, however. He's able to break away. There's no slowdowns for running wide on much of these tracks, such as Brands Hatch. It can slow you down in the form if you run off track. Oh, and he's done it again. He's got to be so careful as McNealy, but you can see how much he's pushing that car. You can see how much all of these drivers are pushing these cars on the limit every time. Now, here we go, enter Paddock Hill Bend. No dive up the inside from any of these drivers just yet, but it looked like a good run through the corner from Chadwick, and McNealy run wide off on the gravel. No move just yet from Chadwick. Does he make a move on his teammate, or does he protect him? That's the dilemma always of being a teammate, of course, in series like this. But Mikey Doble's got a challenging job. Just about to tick over the halfway point. He's got two Fordzilla cars ahead of him who are arguably his championship rivals. He's really got to come up with something spectacular to get past this dynamic duo here. Got a car up ahead here. That is Dan James trying to stay on the lead lap like what James Clark was a moment ago. Heading down Pilgrim's Drop now. No move just yet. Let's reluctantly check out the rest of the pack here. We've got Schooler in 5th position overall and leading the AM category. Sam Smith back here in 2nd. William Foyle is 3rd in the AM category on his debut here, so very impressive for him. 3rd in the championship, Olly Peters 4th, with Bud Dobson in 5th position. He did lead some of Knockhill in race 3 last time out, so bravo to him indeed. Oh, and running wide there was Sam Smith, but it's not going to threaten him too much. He has got the back marker of James Clark behind him, so it's not an immediate threat to his position, but he will want to catch up with Schooler up ahead. Now, back to the front three. Doble's very, very close indeed, heading out of Clark Curve. And as we head towards Paddock Hill Bend to start the next lap, he's going to take to the inside. Late braking going into Paddock Hill Bend. Can he keep it nice and tight on the inside? Chadwick gives room and runs wide onto the gravel. Mikey Doble keeps the inside and he'll be able to hold it round Druids Bend. But somehow Chadwick managed to still challenge Doble into the corner there. But Doble puts it into second place. He can now set his sights on Liam McNeilly up ahead, who did break away a little bit, half a second clear. But with the draft that these MX-5s are so effective with, Mikey Doble might be able to reel back in Liam McNeilly, the Ginetta Junior driver, versus Ginetta Senior driver, technically Mikey Doble. So it's quite the contest between the two. Chadwick looking to the inside as we head down towards Hawthorns. Mikey Doble seems content with having that outside line, but Chadwick has found the inside and is going to go through. On there is contact between the two. Not enough to send them off the track. McNealy running wide at the front there still. But Chadwick is back into second place. And look who's joined the battle here. It's Higgins Jr. and Schooler. They're going to join the battle and make things really difficult for Mikey Doble and Chadwick now. Mikey Doble's hard work at the beginning of this lap is undone. He's got to pass Chadwick again. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from these drivers here. And McNealy will be happy to see that he's gained 4/10 in the last half a lap or so. To extend that out to more than a second will be good for McNealy. It'll make life a little bit easier, especially that Chadwick is in front of Doble right now. He takes to the inside, threading the eye of the needle there into Paddock Hill, and he does pretty much an identical move to the before. Chadwick hangs it around the outside again, and again runs onto the gravel. This is like deja vu, but now he's got company. Higgins Jr. trying to sneak it to the inside, following Doble through, but he can't quite get it. Chadwick has to keep it into third place here. Excuse me. And here we go into Graham Hill Bend. Doble hangs on to it. Now Doble will be aware of what happened on the previous lap and he might be able to counter it. Into Surtees we go. And up the hill we go, heading towards Pilgrim's Drop. It's over a second between McNealy and Doble. Doble has to knuckle down and try and catch back up. Chadwick's not close enough to make a move into Hawthorns right now. The number 88 versus the 088 car. Slightly confusing, especially for marshals in communicating. And through they go. Right, now Doble can get his head down. He's gained a 10th actually in the last half a lap or so. That will help. Every little helps, as some big supermarket chain says. And running wide there was McNealy again. He's really, really pushing hard. He's using up instant points by doing that, but he'd be aware that he might have enough. Doble is guarding the inside. It seemed to be a good exit from Sterling's from Chadwick. Not enough to make a move as Doble had already covered it off. Here we go. 3.5 minutes to go. That'll be about 3 laps, I believe. Into Paddock Hill Bend we go. Will we see a move from Chadwick? We don't. Didn't think the timing was right, didn't think the move was on. And he's going to try Druids here, potentially. No, he isn't. Doble covers it off by turning a little earlier into the corner just to cover it off. Mikey Doble, by the way, in a replica of his Ginetta livery designed by Mark Sykes, head of NXTGEN Racing. Very, very slick livery and a good rendition of it by Mark Sykes. So, big up to him. Oh, something happened to William Chadwick here. Not quite sure. I wasn't sure if that was a slow down penalty. It might have been, but he's dropped back into P4. P4 now. I might have just clicked on the wrong thing. Yes, I did. Here we go. This was it. He's slow running coming out of Graham Hill Bend. He might have got himself a slow down penalty, and he's now dropped back into 4th place. Higgins Jr. onto the podium. He hasn't been in a spot like this all season. In fact, I tell a lie, he did finish 3rd at Knockhill. I just looked at the stats, and here's another swap for position. Chadwick puts it to the inside through Westfield Bend, but now it's hard work from Chadwick. He's got to catch up with the top 2, and now His teammate is vulnerable to the attack from Mikey Doble, who's got a good slipstream from the Fortilla car ahead of him. Liam McNeilly hasn't got a slipstream, so this is going to be very tough indeed for McNeilly, but there's not much time as he runs wide again, heading out of Clark Curve. Mikey Doble is on a mission here. He's brought it down to half a second as we take over the stripe for the last 2 laps of this race. It will be, they cross the line in time to get themselves an extra lap. That would be good news for Mikey Doble. Heading up, he is catching Liam McNeilly at a rate of knots here. What can Chadwick do? He can just try and catch back up with Mikey Doble, but it probably won't happen until they start battling. Round Graham Hill Bend, Liam McNeilly using all the track and more. They can run quite wide there coming out of Graham Hill Bend. Track limits here are decided by iRacing, of course, not by any official or clerk of the course. Here we go, less than 4/10 between them. Pilgrims drop now as we head towards Hawthorne. So this will be the point on the track where Mikey Doble will probably gain quite a lot through slipstream. You can see how much that reduces between the 2 cars. Less than 10 metres between them now as we head into Westfield Bend. Mikey Doble is really on a mission. As Murray Walker would say, catching is one thing, passing is another. But we know Mikey Doble can do that. So rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, we probably will see at least one attempt at a move here. And he has really gained through Sheens there and into Sterling's. Mikey Doble is now going to be lining up a move. He's right on the bumper of that Fortilla car. There is right ahead of him. Now he's got to choose the right opportunity. 1 lap to go in this race, I think. Oh, and a big undercut there from Mikey Doble. He might have found the inside already. Has he? No, he hasn't. Oh, as Mikey Doble was trying to challenge the inside, it was cut off by... Oh, and it is the checkered flag. Do excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it was such a brash move. But it is Liam McNeilly who takes the win in this first race of the night here. Oh, and that was a very close one between him and Mikey Doble. Big battle there. Very exciting battle. Chadwick takes 3rd, having momentarily lost it on the final lap. On the previous to final lap. But he manages to get it back ahead of John Higgins Jr. Joncarlo Schooler will take 1st in category, in the AM category, with Sam Smith 2nd. And debutant to the season, William Foyle 10th overall and 3rd in category. Be very, very pleased with that indeed. And I think finishes on the lead lap. There were 25 who finished on the lead lap, I believe. Well, what a race we just witnessed between the top 3. Couldn't really take our eyes off it because it was just so close and intense. And once everybody has crossed the line to complete the race, we'll be able to round up the classified finishers. And then we'll move on to the 2nd race of the night, which will be another 15-minute race. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be a reverse grid of the top 15. So, finishing 15th is Jamie Nicholson. Been quiet in this series so far, but Jamie Nicholson will line up pole position with Lee Horn alongside in 2nd position on the grid. Definitely need to catch my breath after that race, certainly too. But very close between McNealy and Doble. I was absolutely convinced we'd have another lap, but we didn't. Very surprised with that checkered flag, and that's why Mikey Doble was desperately going for it. He did momentarily have the inside. I'm just going to see if we can watch that. Final corner again between the 2 drivers. So let's take a look there. Oh, yeah, very close indeed. I'll tell you what, we'll go a bit further back. So this is coming out of Sterling's, and the next corner is Clark Curve. Trying to find the inside, he can't quite make it, so he has to turn to the outside and then tries an undercut because McNealy would have washed out wide, but he just caught the rear of McNealy. Did slightly have the inside, but probably not enough, and McNealy was able to cover it off. And it ends with McNealy 1st and Doble 2nd. But here are the results of that race we have just witnessed. Liam McNeilly takes the win from Mikey Doble, and Fordzilla's William Chadwick in 3rd position. John Higgins Jr. with 4th position, and 1st in the AM categories we mentioned, Joncarlo Schooler with another winning category for him in 5th. Sam Smith takes 6th position with Rob McGregor gaining quite a few places, 3 places to 7th position. Wayne Douglas had a struggle in that race, but he still maintained a top 8 finish. Nick Clibbens, 7 places gained to 9th position, with William Foyle taking 10th position. Jamie Dory takes 11th from Dan Skinner in 12th. Alan McCain gains 4 places to finish 14th. Lee Horns finishes where he started in 14th position. Jamie Nicholson takes 15th position and reverse grid pole for the next race. Jeff Perkins gains 12 places, but not enough for the reverse grid. 16th for him. Biggest mover of the field, though, was Aidan Wilson in 17th there. 13 places gained for him in that race. Nigel Stock gains 4 to finish 18th, with Matt Emmons gaining 5 to finish 19th place. Craig Cockrell takes 20th position, with Paul Scott in 21st. John Higgins Sr. in 22nd position. Mark Anthony McLaughlin in 23rd. Michael Lease 24th. With 25th going to Bud Dobson. He was running quite high, so something happened to him in that race. James Clark 26th. Adam Delmont, a miserable race for him, unfortunately. 27th for him. Dan James in 28th. Ollie Peters in 29th. And 30th was Tom Delaney. That was the opening race of the night. The first of 2 15-minute races tonight, with a 25-minute race coming up later on. This is Next Gen Racing, the MX-5 Cup, round 3 here at Brands Hatch. We'll be back very shortly with race 2. Don't go away. Welcome back, everyone, to the Next Gen Racing MX-5 Cup Round 3 here at Brands Hatch. Welcome along if you're watching on Crest Autosport TV on YouTube and Twitch, and also Next Gen Racing on Facebook. Give us a like, follow, share, and or subscribe from wherever you are watching. It does help out the series. It does help out the channels. Very much appreciated indeed. Right, so the racing action here. Race 1 was action-packed, especially for the top 3 on that previous race, with Mikey Doble, Liam McNeilly and Will Chadwick battling for the majority of that race for the top 3 spots. And it was a bit of a final lap, last gasp battle between McNealy and Doble, but the race did go to McNealy, get himself another win on the board this season, his 3rd of the season. So, as we do the usual housekeeping here is the season as it means to go on. We started off 2 weeks ago at the Red Bull Ring, and last week we were at Knockhill in Scotland. Today we're at Brands Hatch GP. Next week we'll be off to Alton Park International Circuit with no chicanes, so that's going to be very exciting and very high paced indeed. Spa-Francorchamps will take place for round 5 of the championship, and it'll be a 2-hour endurance. Round 6 will be hosted at the Silverstone National Circuit. Of course, hosts a very short, simple circuit, but one that hosts very exciting racing, particularly in the Tucker package. That will host our round 6 of the championship. Round 7 hosted at the simpler Snetterton layout, the 200 layout, which is referred to as the Outer Loop, which used to be raced in the Tucker package in the 90s and before that. Round 8 will be heading over the pond to America to the Watkins Glen Cup circuit for the 8th round of the championship. And then we're going oval racing in round 9 at Daytona. And that's going to be rather like a NASCAR race, so very much looking forward to that one indeed. Le Mans will host round 10 of the championship, and it'll be another 2-hour endurance just like Spa-Francorchamps round 5, and that will finish off the championship. You can still get involved in the series if you wish to. Entries are £2 or the equivalent of £2 per race, and there's plenty of spaces to get involved, plenty of action to get involved with, as you've seen so far tonight already. Right, we are just about half a minute away from the next race. It is a reverse 15 of the results from race 1. So the person who finished in 15th will start pole position for this race, and that was Jamie Nicholson. And Jamie Nicholson out on track at the moment. I think he might have been practicing his starts there on the Graham Hill Bend. Either that or he spun, not quite sure. But he'll be thoroughly looking forward to this race here. chance to show what he's made of at the front here. Check flag waves. We're about to end practice here, and we're moving straight into race 2, lining up on the grid. And here is how things will line up for this next race of the night. Jamie Nicholson on pole with Jamie Dory in second. Alan McCain will start third from Dan Skinner in fourth. Jamie Dory, our league host, fifth, with debutant tonight, Will Foyle in sixth position. Seventh place will be taken up by Nick Clibbins with Wayne Douglas in 8th position. Rob McGregor 9th from Sam Smith in 10th. Joncarlo Schooler in 11th with John Higgins in 12th. William Chadwick 13th and Mikey Doble 14th. Race 1 winner will start 15th. That's Liam McNeilly with Jeff Perkins alongside in 16th. Aidan Wilson 17th with Nigel Stock in 18th. Matt Emmons takes 19th with Craig Cockrell in 20th. And Paul Scott in 21st with John Higgins Sr. in 22nd. Mark Anthony McLaughlin in 23rd with Michael Lease 24th. Bud Dobson in 25th and James Clark 26th. Adam Delmont 27th with Dan James in 28th. Olly Peters will line up 29th on the grid, and we're about to get underway for this second race of the night. Nicholson on pole with Lee Horn alongside in second, and away we go for this second race of the night. It looks to be a fairly decent start for Nicholson on the inside there as he blasts away towards Paddock Hill Bend. Challenge on the outside by Lee Horn round Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, and there seems to be a spin. That's Jamie Dory who spuns in the middle of the pack there. He did collect another car, but I'm not quite sure if that car was affected greatly. It might have been William Foley made contact, but they still continue on through Graham Hill Bend. They go. William Fowler's on the inside of Sam Smith here. Oh, and there's contact between him and Wayne Douglas. It seemed Wayne Douglas got sideways, and Fowler is in the middle of the track, cannot move with his broken car, and that was looking like a pretty good debut. Gone to tatters for William Foyle. Safety car might be out. Oh, it is. I think it is out on the track. The safety car is waiting for the drivers at the start finish here, as there are a lot of cars in the middle of the track there. But Lee Horn takes the lead here somewhere. Somehow he's taken the lead, and there's a lot of swapping for positions further down. Liam McNeilly has already gained 8 places to 7th. Chadwick is up 3 places. Mikey Doble, I'm not quite sure where he is. He's there in 12th. He has gained 2 places. There's a car off in the background. That was Olly Peters. And the safety car is out on track. They're gonna keep racing until the start-finish line, and then they'll have to stop behind the safety car. Lee Horn is breaking away here, but then Skinner has spun. Skinner has spun into McLean and Clibbins, and there's another incident here in the mid-pack. And it has not gone well at the moment. Can't get a decent camera angle of this. But there's a lot of drivers who have spun and gone around here. Craig Cockrell is still trying to get away at the back there. And while we're behind the safety car, we'll try and catch our breath. We'll try and find out what happened to all of those incidents there. But that was a very sketchy first lap here. Liam McNeilly is already into 3rd place. He's managed to avoid the bulk of the action there, and he's up to 3rd place. 12 places gained already. Chadwick is up to 5th already. Doble is up to 8th already. 6 places gained for him. Now, let's try and find out what happened. There are a lot of incidents to keep an eye on there. And I'm just going to have to try and go back through the reel to find out what happened. The first one was Jamie Dory. That's the one we'll try and watch first. I think we've got it here. Right. Now that is the spin of Jamie Dory just before it happens. Let's see if we can get a bit earlier on. So here we go. Into Paddock Hill Bend goes Jamie Dory in the orange car we can see there. Oh, and it just steps sideways under braking there. There was no contact at all. Cold tyres have just gone round on him there. So there was contact with someone else, and I couldn't quite see who it was. Now we're watching the 44 car of William Foyle here. Watch the white car ahead of Wayne Douglas. He seems to slip sideways. Yes, he does. He's already slipping sideways, and he's on the brakes trying to slow the car down. And William Foyle just had nowhere to go. And it collected loads of other cars. It collected Jeff Perkis. It collected Olly Peters as well. Very, very strange indeed. Now let's watch Olly Peters, because he did go around. Oh, he just about avoids Bud Dobson there. And heading into Hawthorne, something happened to him. There's another incident back there as well. Olly Peters passing. He has James Clark on his inside as we head into Hawthorne's. Oh, and yeah, Peters turns into the corner, but Clark's closer than he thinks. And that puts him into the barrier there. Now let's watch Nick Clibbins, because this was the next incident that happened. Clibbins is there in the Excite car, the blue, white and black car. He runs wide there, getting under shape. Getting out of shape, should I say. And Dan Skinner spins into him. That sends Clibbins round into... that was McLean there. And there was nothing he could do about that. Right, back with the live action. Safety car's still out. Horn leads this race. Now, he would have been happy without a safety car because he was breaking away. Dan Skinner here, he did have contact, but he's able to keep going. He might have a slightly damaged car, but it seems okay at the moment. If we get on board here, well, he's a bit too far ahead, is Lee Horn. But we were hoping Dan Skinner could get a bit closer so we could see any damage on his car. Liam McNeilly is in third place, and Rob McGregor in a very happy fourth place here. But he's got the Fordzilla cars around him, and of all the two drivers you have on the grid here, you don't want them to around you just because they're so quick. Now Dan Skinner is holding up the pack here, letting Lee Horn go off ahead. Horn won't care. He will just be thinking, well, if you guys want to hack back, that's fine. Now, will Dan Skinner floor it at the right time to try and catch up with Lee Horn here? Horn has started dropping off the back of the safety car here, so I'm going to assume that it's going in. Yes, the safety car is speeding off into the distance, and Lee Horn, he doesn't care. He's going. He's far enough back he'll be able to go. Into the pits goes the safety car, and Lee Horn has a 3-second lead as we get underway here at Brands Hatch. You know what, Dan Skinner didn't plan that all that perfectly, and now he's under pressure from Liam McNeilly and a long way down from Lee Horn. Into Paddock Hill Paddock Hill Bend we go, not Paddock Hill Bend. And Lee Horn leads this race into Druids Bend. He won't mind this at all. Leads the way. Dan Skinner guards the inside. So does Rob McGregor from Chadwick. Out of Druids we go and down the hill. No moves just yet from these drivers. They're all rather spaced out because it was a little bit confusing what was going on here with the safety car. But Lee Horn's the one who's done this right. He's got himself a 2.8 second lead as McNealy tries the inside of Dan Skinner there. And he'll have the outside for Hawthorns. Has he got the momentum? Oh, door-to-door contact between the two. McNealy not happy with Skinner there by the looks of it. Sideswiping him. Into Hawthorns we go. Skinner holds the inside, but McNealy's going to power it around the outside. He might be able to get this ahead before Westfield Bend here. Skinner's holding on to the inside, and he does get it back in front. And to the inside of McNealy goes Rob McGregor. Chadwick trying to sneak to the inside there, and look who else is looking there. It is Mikey Doble, but McGregor has the inside of Skinner. Contact between the two, 3 wide heading towards Sterling's, and there's contact, and they take out McNealy. The race 1 winner is out of this race. McGregor, McNealy and Skinner come together heading into that final corner there, and they're trying to get away desperately. We're going to try and get a replay of that to see actually what happened. Chadwick and Doble are off into the clear there, and this is the incident as we saw it. We might have to go a bit further back than that, I'm afraid, Alex. Here we go, through Sheens we go. Contact between McGregor and Skinner, and McGregor seems to turn left, and that contact is what upsets his car, and he spins into McNealy. McNealy was just a passenger in that, and that's what will annoy him most. He could not prevent that. Now, this is a battle raging excellently at the moment. Lee Horn is off in the clear, 5 seconds clear. If he can keep his lap times good, he'll get an outright win here. But there's plenty of time left for these drivers to try and catch up with Lee Horn, but he's off in the clear. Chadwick is breaking away a little bit from Mikey Doble here, stuck battling with Higgins Jr., who, by the way, what a night he's having so far. Joncarlo Schooler has put himself back into the top 5 like what he was in race 1, but he's second in category as Lee Horn is off in the distance. Oh, and contact between Higgins Jr. and Mikey Doble. Doble gives him room to come back on the track, but he's going to maintain the floor down to get himself into 3rd place. Schooler's on the inside of Higgins, and we'll have the inside as we head through the Dingle Dell and Sheens now, but Higgins Jr. covers it off, and he's able to keep it into 4th place there. Sam Smith's on the back of this pack here, as is Jeff Perkis. Perkis surged through the pack from the back of the grid at the start of race 1, and he's now contending with this front pack here in 7th place. Brilliant, brilliant comeback from Jeff Perkis, whom I'm battling with in the in a race room championship at the moment, so I know what he's capable of. Chadwick breaks away. Don't think that he's leading this race, because he isn't. It is Lee Horn leading this race, who timed the restart under the safety car to perfection. And he's able to break away clear of this pack. Clear of these drivers here. Chadwick is breaking away from Doble. Now, Doble did finish the previous race ahead of Chadwick, so that's good points for Doble against Chadwick. And certainly good points against Mcnealy, who's down in 29th now. Will Mcnealy get that reverse grid though? This is something I'm not quite clear on. Is it a reverse grid full regardless, or is it based on whether you finish on the lead lap? I'm not entirely sure. I should know this information, but I don't. I'm going to admit that. I'll try and find out in the interval. Right, we have less than a third of the race to go. Mikey Doble has broken away a little bit from John Higgins Jr. here. He'll be head down trying to catch up with Chadwick here in 2nd place. Both him and Chadwick have gained 11 places in this race. Biggest mover of the field, who's just ticked over to 18 places gained, is James Clark in 8th place there. Now, in race 1, he did have a big incident which put him out of the race and a lap down, and he surged through the pack, gotten through all the drama here. 18 places gained to 8th place. He'd be pleased with that. 5th in category at the moment, though. There are more AM category drivers in the top 10 right now than there are pro categories. You can see on the standings on the left here. Drivers with their position and numbers lit up in blue are AM category drivers. No backgrounders in black background are pro category drivers. As you can see, it's a 7 against 3 battle between AM and pro. But the pro drivers won't mind that. It means that they can fight their battle. And they'll let the AM drivers get on with it. They'll just focus on theirs because it is their championship. You are scored in your category based on where you finish in your category, not overall. However, overall position does decide your team's championship points. So it is very crucial, no matter where you are on the grid, get up as high as you can, because it benefits your team and yourself. The gap between 1st and 2nd is coming down a lot. 2.5 seconds now between Lee Horn and William Chadwick. This is the view from the rear, from the exhaust of Lee Horn. You can just about see William Chadwick heading over the Pilgrim's Drop crest there. Horn will be conscious that while Chadwick, Doble and Higgins are catching him, and he's not battling them championship points wise, they are bringing along other drivers in the name of Sam Smith and Joncarlo Schooler. Jeff Perkis is lurking as well as James Clark, who's on a big momentum shift here compared to what he was on in race 1. Nigel Stocks had a good race here. He's into the top 10. Probably will be one of his best results of the season if he can maintain it. Lee Horn pushing very hard, using all the road. Coming out of Clark Curve there. He's got 2.5 minutes. This might be 2 laps remaining for Lee Horn here. Into Paddock Hill he goes. Lee Horn will be hoping that Doble can start battling Chadwick. That's going to slow them down. That's going to help the momentum shift towards Lee Horn, who's lost 3 seconds in the last 6 minutes or so to these drivers. He's going to be conscious of that, and this is a battle for 9th place. Nigel Stock trying his hands at Alan McCain there. Couldn't quite make the move happen. He did have the inside at Druids, but he wasn't able to maintain it around Graham Hill Bend. A lot of drivers here are going to get good points out of the loss of other drivers. Doble and Chadwick here very close, the closest they've been all race, I would say. Doble has done very well to catch up. We've also got Sam Smith battling with John Higgins Jr. Smith will know that Lee Horn is being caught up ahead. He needs to get in front. He needs to hope that he can catch Lee Horn by the end of this race, with Lee Horn battling with Chadwick and Doble. But he needs to get past Higgins Jr. first. Higgins Jr. is on for a podium, so he won't be fighting too much with that position. Well, one can hope. 1.4 seconds between first and second here. Lee Horn has got one more lap. He can take an outright win in this race. To the inside goes Mikey Doble, and that's going to slow them down and help out Lee Horn. But that puts Mikey Doble into the lead at the pro category here. A very slick move from the Ginetta senior driver. Into Paddock Hill Bend we go. The white flag is waving by the start line. Marshall there. Through goes Mikey Doble, and an undercut here from Chadwick to the inside as we head up to Druids Bend. This is going to be Chadwick's corner. If you're on the inside here, you're going to get it. Doble tucks back in behind. Big nudge to the rear to say, get a move on out of this corner, please, William. They won't mind the outright win so much. It'll be the pro category win that they want desperately. They'll be fine with Horn winning this race outright, because that affects the team's championship only. But for Lee Horn, this is a big moment. Winning outright in a race like this, with these kind of drivers, is a big thing. Doble has dropped back a bit from Chadwick here. He might be planning a move similar to what he did in race 1. Can that work at this point? 1.1 between Lee Horn and Chadwick. Lee Horn seems to have it in the bag. He just needs to keep cool. Keep on the black stuff. Keep it on the island, as Tim Harvey said yesterday. Through Sheen's flash of the lights there from Mikey Doble, trying to put off William Chadwick. Oh, and he takes to the inside. Chadwick swerves to avoid it, and there is contact between the two. They get away with it, but Chadwick loses the position to Mikey Doble. That was a big move going into Sterling's there, and it'll be Mikey Doble who takes the win in the category here. But an outright win here, and an AM category win here for Lee Horn, who masterminded that safety car restart, and it helped him to get to this victory. He'll take it, definitely. He's reignited his championship here. Second place goes to Mikey Doble, and that was a big moment between him and Chadwick on the penultimate corner of the last lap there. So we'll get another shot of that. Let's see what happened between the two. Now, we're not quite back far enough. I'm going to have to adjust how far back these replays go. Right, here we go. We're going to go through Dingle Dell and Sterling's Sheen's curve here. So here comes the move. Chadwick comes to the right, and that allows Doble to brake to the left. Oh, I'm really not sure about that, man. I'm really not sure. Let's get another shot. Let's see if we can get another angle of it. This will be on board Mikey Doble. I really want to know what happened to the car of Chadwick coming out of the corner here. He lets Doble have the inside. He seizes there and thinks, you know what, have that. Oh, it really does look like Doble's car washes out to the outside there. But it's so hard to tell from the angles we got here. It's going to be one for... It's going to be one for the stewards, certainly. There's a lot of drivers talking on the Discord, which I cannot show you guys. I'm very sorry about that. But there's drivers shouting each other, for instance. There's people asking what happened with the restart. And of course, let's see if we can go back to that. Oh, I might not be able to get back to that restart. Yeah, I can't quite determine where that restart was, unfortunately, on our timeline here. But what a race we saw there. And we are going to go to the results here to conclude our second race of the night. Lee Horn takes an outright win and a win in the AM category. Mikey Doble takes the pro category win from William Chadwick in second position. in category and 3rd overall. John Higgins Jr. takes a podium in category and 4th overall. Sam Smith 2nd in category and 5th overall. 20 places gained for James Clark in the end to take 6th place overall. A brilliant surge through the pack for him. Jeff Perkis takes 7th position, with Joncarlo Schooler dropping places at the end there for 8th place overall. Alan McCain in 9th, with Nigel Stock, one of his best results of the season, in 10th. Adam Delmont did gain 16 places to finish 11th, with Jamie Dory in 12th. A good recovery after his lap 1 spin. Nick Clemens takes 13th, with Ollie Peters in 14th. Aidan Wilson 15th from Jamie Nicholson. Bud Dobson in 17th with William Foyle. The incident he had on lap 1, he recovers to 18th place. Mark Anthony McLaughlin in 19th with Matt Emmons 20th. Dan James takes 21st with Wayne Douglas in 22nd. Craig Cockrell takes 23rd with Rob McGregor 24th and John Higgins 25th. Paul Scott takes 26th with Dan Skinner 27th. Michael Lease 28th, 1 lap down, as is Liam McNeilly. Now, I'm not sure if they're eligible for reverse grid, so it might be that Liam McNeilly is pole position for the next race. If it's not him, it'll be Dan Skinner. But we're going to find that out after our quick intermission here. This is round 3 at Brands Hatch, the Next Gen Racing MX-5 Cup. It's been very exciting so far. It's been very dramatic and action-packed, and I don't think it's going to get any easier to watch or any more difficult to watch. Let's put it that way. Very exciting stuff. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. Race 3 coming up next. Welcome back everyone to Brands Hatch in the United Kingdom. This is the Next Gen Racing MX-5 Cup, round 3 of the championship. My name's Alex Everett, your commentator tonight on behalf of Crest Autosport TV on YouTube and Twitch, but also Next Gen Racing TV on Facebook. Welcome along if you're watching on any of those channels. Please do give us a like, follow, share and or subscribe on whatever platform you are watching on. It very much helps out the series. It very much helps out the channels. So thank you very much in advance. Now tonight's racing has been very, very interesting indeed tonight. So our winners tonight so far. Liam McNeilly took race 1 in the Pro category and Joncarlo Schooler in the AM category, and race 2 disturbed by a safety car, and then rather some confusion with the restart of the safety car. Lehorn breaks away to a 5-second lead and takes the victory in the AM category and overall, and it was Mikey Doble under dramatic circumstances took the win in the Pro category. There's going to be a lot of Stewards inquiries after this one, so good luck, Stews. I'm glad I'm not you. But, yeah, absolutely brilliant racing so far. It's very exciting to watch. So this third race here, I haven't been able to obtain the information that I did say I was going to get. But I do believe that you must finish the race to be eligible for a reverse grid. With that being said, that will mean Liam McNeilly will start on pole position. And if Liam McNeilly starts on pole position, we know what's going to happen. We know he's going to just walk away with it. It's going to take a miracle from other drivers to try and beat him on a reverse grid pole. No offense to the other drivers whatsoever, but Liam McNeilly is just a class of his own right now in this series. So we'll see if I'm absolutely right. I seem to remember that's what the condition is to be eligible for reverse grid. So we've got a few seconds left before we find out said grid. Mikey Doble quick on the standings in practice warm-up here. He's looking for a big surge through the grid to get himself big points here. He very much has picked up a lot of points here. Second and first so far tonight for him. And that is good points that he needs to not necessarily kickstart his championship, but he did miss a round. There will be drop rounds in place, so he'll want big points in every round that he can get. Now let's move on to the grid for this third race of the night, and I believe it is Liam McNeilly on pole position. Michael Leese will line up alongside him on the front row. Dan Skinner, who's involved in a lot of drama in the race 2, then will start third to redeem his race a little bit. Paul Scott will line up 4th with John Higgins Sr. in 5th, Rob McGregor 6th. Craig Cockrell will line up 7th with Wayne Douglas alongside him, and Dan James and Matt Emmons will take up the 5th row. Mark Anthony McLaughlin and William Foyle will take up the 6th row, with 13th and 14th going to Bud Dobson and Jamie Nicholson. Aidan Wilson will line up 15th with Ollie Peters 16th. Nick Clibbins 17th from Jamie Doria League hosting 18th. Adam Delmont will line up 19th with Nigel Sock in 20th. Alan McCain 21st with Joncarlo Schooler in 22nd. Jeff Perkins 23rd from James Clark in 24th. Sam Smith, John Higgins Jr., William Chadwick, Mikey Doble and Lee Horn will line up in 25th place. Here we go for the final race of the night. This is a 25-minute feature race we got now, ladies and gentlemen. Lights will turn red and we'll be underway for another race here at Brands Hatch. Liam McNeilly with a very, very sketchy start there. Gets away and he's going to be threatened on the outside here by Michael Leese, who has got his nose in front and might well try and lead heading into Paddock Hill Bend here. He does. It's a bad start for Liam McNeilly, as into the lead goes Michael Leese right away in that Dayglow yellow livery of his. Very striking livery as we head around Druids Bend right now. Not many cars off and about just yet from what I can see. Oh, and Lee spins to come out Graham Hill Bend and he collects Dan Skinner. Dan Skinner with a bit of damage on his front bumper there, but he'll break away still. And there is a spin in the mid-pack. That was Dobson, I believe. And there's a lot of cars slow in the middle here. That might have brought out another safety car. I'll find out very, very shortly. But there's cars struggling at the back here. William 4 was involved. Bud Dobson was involved as well. Mark Anthony McLaughlin. I think William Chadwick might have been involved a touch as well. But he's run back here quite far behind Lee Horn and Mikey Doble, who are just up the road here. Safety cars out on the track. It is a safety car, the same as race 1. At the end of lap 1, we'll follow the safety car, but Liam McNeilly puts himself back into the lead with the spin that happened by Michael Leese coming out of Graham Hill Bend there. Paul Scott puts himself into second place. He'll be pleased with that. And Rob McGregor finds himself to the outside. They can keep racing until the start-finish straight, I believe. So that will put Rob McGregor into second place. Good move. Very, very choice timing from Rob McGregor there to get the move done there. McNealy will line up on the front straight here behind the safety car. And we'll try and get a replay of everything that happened there at Cooper Straight there, as our safety car will lead us around for a few laps here. Chadwick enters the pit. He's got damage on this car, but he's got a fast repair at his disposal, and he can get on fresh tyres, and he'll be able to join the back of the pack here. So, a bit of a get out of jail free card for William Chadwick, it seems, as well as other drivers here, including Jamie Dory, Bud Dobson, Mark Anthony McLaughlin. William Fall chose not to. He might not have picked up damage. He might have just been running slow at Graham Hill. Right, let's see if we can get another shot of that incident that happened a lap ago. We just need to find it on the timeline because it did kick off a little bit on our timeline here. I believe this is where it all would have started. Right, so Michael Leese coming out of Druids Bend there, heading into Graham Hill Bend, and he just slips sideways with the cold tyres, and the curb doesn't help. He spins in front of Dan Skinner there, spins onto the grass, but it happens behind. William Fall was the first of the spinners. So let's see if we can get another shot at what happened to him. Yeah, Foyle spins under cold tyres as well. Something else happened. Let's see if we can watch Bud Dobson, see what happened to him, because he was one of the cars involved. So Bud Dobson on the outside there in the DSR livery. And there was a spin up ahead. And I think that was Mark Anthony McLaughlin, so let's see what happened from his point of view. We will get there eventually. Running wide there out of Graham Hill Bend. A bit of a nudge from Olly Peters. But back onto the track is one of the HSR cars. I think that was Aidan Wilson, it was. So let's see what happened to Aidan Wilson coming out of Graham Hill there. He's got Matt Emmons on his inside. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact between the two. It was neither's fault, I believe. And that just sends him round. Now, I think that pretty much covers it. But because it was a big incident, that is reason enough for a safety car. Marshall's cleaning up the debris, and of course, mechanics helping the cars out in the pits. It requires a safety car, of course. Our Orange Army working very, very hard out there. Now, McNealy leading this race. This will drag the clock down. That's what you'll want. But McNealy, my prediction is he'll be able to break away here. McGregor might challenge him. McGregor has got pace. We've seen it tonight. He might be able to challenge McGregor for it. But down here for Mikey Doble, he has to really clear a lot of these cars and quickly to try and contend with McNealy at the top. McNealy has dropped a lot of points tonight. So Doble just merely needs to get into the top 5, I would say, for this race here, which he is more than capable of. He's probably the biggest gainer of the field at the moment. He is 12 places gained to 16th. And we saw him do it in the Legends series for 2 seasons non-stop. We saw him do it last season in the MX-5 Cup non-stop. Keep your eyes on William Chadwick as well. He's back here in 25th with a fresh car, I might add. repaired car. He's got no other fast repair at his disposal, but he's got fresh tyres as well. Right, the safety car has blasted off into the pits, and Liam McNeilly, now he'll go, and this is a much more routine restart, but he blasts away from Rob McGregor. 7/10 clear already as we head across the line to restart our third race here at Brands Hatch. Into Paddock Hill we go. He leads the way. And that was at the back. Michael Lease trying to catch up to the pack. Let's keep an eye on Mikey Doble here as well. He's got John Higgins Jr. just ahead. John Higgins Jr. is having a very, very good night indeed. He's had a top 3 and he's had a top 5. To the inside of him, though, goes Mikey Doble. And he's following Sam Smith through, and that's another place gained for Mikey Doble. What about William Chadwick? Oh, something's happened to Chadwick. Let's see if we can get a shot of what happened. I think the safety car is out again. Oh, and there's a spin there from Jamie Dory, it seems. Something's happened live. We've got Senior Higgins Senior as well. Has also gone for a spin. Let's see if we can get a quick replay of that. And we'll see what happened to Jamie Dory as well. So this is heading into... This is Dan Skinner. Oh, he just runs wide. Oh, he hasn't taken out any other cars. He'd be thankful for that. Right, this is the Jamie Dory incident on lap, the corner 1. Oh, and there's contact between him and Mark Anthony McLaughlin. McLaughlin, I have to say, he ran wide into Jamie Dory there, which has ended William Chadwick's race. He'll have a lot of damage on that car. Oh, and something happened. Did something just happen? No, I might be... I'm seeing things. I'm seeing things. Right, I think the safety car is not out on the track. I tell a lie, ladies and gentlemen. It's not information that we get instantly to our screens. McNealy leads. McGregor's hanging on though. Really is hanging on. He hasn't dropped any time from the restart. This is good for him. Paul Scott, the AM category defending champion, leads the category here. And his nearest rival is Craig Cockrell back here. So Paul Scott will be very pleased with his progress so far, leading the category. But he's got a lot of time to defend it as Dan Skinner, previous race winner at Red Bull Ring, takes to the inside, and he'll bring with him Nick Clibbens as they go around Surtees to take 3rd and 4th position. Paul Scott now is going to be locked in a battle with Craig Cockrell and Olly Peters. Olly Peters has had a very mediocre night, but this is a race to reignite some points in his championship. Doble is in 12th, takes to the inside of Dan James, and through he goes. He's now behind Jamie Nicholson. A lot of swapping for position here as well. This is Matt Emmons against Joncarlo Schooler. Emmons runs wide there, and Schooler gets ahead. This is going to allow Nicholson to pounce on Emmons in the next-gen purple-inspired livery just ahead of him. And into Sterling as we go. Doble takes the position away. 11th place is to Mikey Doble. 17 places gained. 9 minutes expired. This is a big, big progress through the field for Mikey Doble. And it's not going to end anytime soon. Nick Clibbens in 4th place here. He's also gained a lot of places. 13 places to 4th. And he's trying to get the move on Dan Skinner done sooner rather than later by the looks of it. Back here we have got Adam Delmont to the inside of Olly Peters. Peters doesn't contend too much with that. He knows he's in another category. Adam Delmont trying to get some points on the board out of this race. As Race 1 didn't go so well. And Race 2, he didn't have enough time to get through the pack due to the safety car. But he's up in 7th place, 12 places gained, and he'll be looking to catch up and get up towards 3rd place here. McNealy and McGregor still fairly close. McNealy has opened the gap up ahead of McGregor here. Nearly a second now between the two drivers. But McGregor doing very well to try and hang on to this. They've got a long gap to Skinner behind. Skinner and Clibbens going at it for 3rd place. Clibbens the one with momentum though. He has 13 places gained in this race so far. Mikey Doble gains another place to 10th position. He's in the top 10 past Matt Emmons for that top 10 spot. And now he's got a few AM drivers ahead of him in the name of Schooler, Peters and Cockrell. He's got the pink livery just ahead of him. Let's watch on board here. A lot of battling going on up ahead here. Olly Peters at the tail of the battle. And it is also Adam Delmont trying to weave his way through this pack here. He looks to the inside of Paul Scott here, one of his teammates at Next Gen Racing, and Paul Scott lets him go. He lets his teammate go, and also Paul Scott's going to concede the first place in the AM category to Craig Cockrell, who took the opportunity to follow Delmont through, and into the lead of the AM category he goes. Back here, Mikey Doble is going to try to the inside of Schooler. It's 3 wide going into Paddock Hill Bend, and Peters and Schooler come together, and they're off in the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend. Let's see if we can get another quick replay of what happened there. Peters turns across, but Schooler hasn't turned into the corner just yet, and it sends both into the gravel, but I'm not entirely sure. I think Schooler might have got away with that without contact with the wall. He might be able to restart his race, but Peters has retired to the pits with a lot of damage. Michael Leese will do the same. So we now only have 23 drivers running in this race, I believe. There's a big battle going on back here between Perkis, Clark and Foyle, and that's for 16th position. This is Clark on the inside of Perkis, heading over Pilgrim's Drop into Hawthorns. Clark has the inside and the better line, but he's blinking in and out. That's going to unsettle Perkis a little bit, but he makes the move complete, and he's into 16th position. What about the front runners here? Mikey Doble still behind Paul Scott. We've got Adam Delmont moving into third, and there's contact from Dan Skinner. He runs off into the gravel. This has been a race where Dan Skinner has been in the gravel quite a lot tonight, and now he's just ahead of Paul Scott and Mikey Doble. Let's see if we can get another quick shot of what happened to Dan Skinner there, battling with Adam Delmont. Yeah, he just turns, and Delmont's rear left wheel is there. Delmont couldn't do anything more about that, and that drops a lot of positions for Dan Skinner. Now Mikey Doble, his progress has slowed a little bit. 21 places gained still, but he's going to take to the inside of Clibbins into Paddock Hill Bend, and he makes the move complete. No cutback from Cockrell here. Dan Skinner's fighting with Higgins Jr. on the inside here. No, it's not. It's it's Paul Scott he's battling with there. Out of Druids Bend, he's back ahead of Paul Scott. 6th place for Dan Skinner. A lot of cars battling back here. That's Emmons on the inside of Sam Smith. A bit of contact between the two, but they got away with that one, and they're able to keep going. Schooler's trying his comeback now as he makes his way past Sam Smith, whom of which he was battling with in race 1. They're both battling in the championship as well, so that's a very important move for Schooler. McNealy is still broken away from McGregor. A 10th here and there on every lap, and it's going to break him into the clear, and these two outright, 1st and 2nd at the moment. Adam Delmont in the clear here in 3rd. He's breaking away from Nick Clibbins, and he might be able to try and catch up with Rob McGregor, but it might be a lost cause, given that McGregor and McNealy are so quick. He's going to struggle to catch them. Mikey Doble's up into 5th place. His best bet now is 3rd, but that's still good points for Mikey Doble. It will mean he'd take up every position on the podium tonight if he can get it into 3rd place, but he's got to battle that with Nick Clibbins and Adam Delmont, as Nick Clibbins gets very slippery coming out of Sterling's there, and that allows Mikey Doble to pounce, and straight to the inside goes Mikey Doble. Big brave move, dive down to the inside, and Clibbins could do nothing but try to avoid that as Doble made a real brash move. That's a very fine move from Mikey Doble indeed, but if Nick Clibbins decided to keep turning in, that could have been disaster for Mikey Doble. Credit to Clibbins, but credit to Doble. What a move that was, and that puts him into 4th position on track. 24 places gained. Delmont just ahead, 16 places gained in 3rd place. Let's see what else is going on. Craig Cockrell leads the AM category. He is 2 overall places ahead of 2nd place in category, Jamie Nicholson. Schooler's back into 3rd place. Oh, something's happened back here. That is Smith, and I think there was a Crest Autosport car just behind as well. No, it wasn't. It was James Clark who's involved as well. So Sam Smith has had some drama. He was battling for the championship, remember? That's not far enough back again, Alex. Let's try again. That's too far back. Let's try again. Okay, we're going to watch this from back here. Paddock Hill Bend. Up to Druids will go. Now, this was involving Sam Smith and someone else. Can't quite remember. Heading down into Paddock Hill Bend. Graham Hill Bend we go. So we're watching the light blue car here. Oh, and he spins it. and goes into James Clark. That's the name I was trying to remember. So the 2 cars ahead. He's trying to squeeze it to the inside. Made contact. And he just sent the car around. McNealy completes another lap here. McGregor 1.8 behind. A long way back now, I would say, out of the slipstream zone. But McGregor won't mind that. He's getting big points on the board for himself here. Mikey Doble still in 4th place. And Clibbens hasn't quite given up on Mikey Doble here. It may have been a good move and a very intimidating move from Mikey Doble. But Clibbens is not giving up. He realises that if Doble starts battling with Delmont, Clibbens has a shot at the top 3 here. We have got 8.5 minutes to go in this race. The final race of the night. There's no pit stops needed in this race, although last season we did have a lot of pit stops take place. And Jamie Nicholson has spun on Surtees there. Something's happened to him. Let's see if we can get a quick replay of that to see what happened to Jamie Nicholson. This is heading up towards Surtees Bend where he spun. Oh, and it's a hit from the rear from William Foyle, and that just sends him round. And I think William Foyle expected Nicholson to brake later than that. And by the time William stamped on the brakes, he couldn't get it slowed down enough. That sends Nicholson back down to 22nd place. He won't be happy about that, given that he was just a passenger in that. He's just had a big shunt from the rear, and that sends him round. McNealy leads still more than 2 seconds clear now. Rob McGregor needs to be careful. This is slipping down and down and down in terms of time difference between him and Adam Delmont. But Mikey Doble has caught Adam Delmont here. A big half a lap here from Mikey Doble. Much cleaner through Paddock Hill Bend there. And that'll take to the inside now for Druids Bend. Delmont will let him have it. He's not going to contend too much for it. He's going to try and get the undercut. Try and get the outside going around Graham Hill Bend there. It was a very good undercut from Adam Delmont, but he is on the worst line heading around this corner. Doble might have got himself ahead, but Delmont is not going to give up. He still has the outside as we head towards Surtees. Into Surtees we go. The better line definitely is the inside, which is Mikey Doble's line. And through the corner we go. It is Doble's 3rd place for him. Delmont follows closely and is going to try something at Hawthorns, presumably. But we've also got Nick Clibbens to look at as well, as he's joined the battle here. Into Hawthorns we go. No move from Adam Delmont. He tucks in behind. Now, we saw Adam Delmont make quite a few moves going through Sheen's curve. Might that be a place for Delmont to try it here? But passing Mikey Doble is going to be no easy feat. Adam Delmont, who prides himself on driving these MX-5 cars week in, week out. He's done it for years. I remember seeing him race these 6 years ago in the BSR series, and he still enjoys driving these cars to this day. No move yet from Adam Delmont. He's trying to line up. He's trying to keep up with Mikey Doble at the moment, by the looks of it. 25 places gained for Mikey Doble, by the way, in case you were wondering. And they are about 3 seconds behind the next position up the road, which is Rob McGregor, who is now 2.6 behind Liam McNeilly. Here we go, into Paddock Hill Bend. Mikey Doble, 3rd place for the first time in this race. Up the hill he goes. He guards straight away the inside for Druids Bend, keeping Adam Delmont on the worser line of the 2. He's trying to put Adam Delmont under attack from Nick Clibbens by putting him out on that outside line, but also he's putting Delmont onto the line that really isn't going to work around this track unless you can work some miracle. Through Surtees. Doble didn't need to defend there. Delmont tries to get a later apex to get a straight lined exit from the corner, which gives him more speed down this straight. Here we go, drafting down Pilgrim's Drop. He's going to take to the inside is Adam Delmont. He's got the inside. Through Hawthorns we go. It's very tight between these 2 drivers. Adam Delmont holds the inside. Into Westfield we go, and Delmont, oh, he tries to put it right back behind. Delmont does Mikey Doble and makes contact. And they are able to keep it going. There might be a little bit of damage on the 2 cars. Through Sheen's Curve we go. Delmont holds third place. Mikey Doble's going to dive to the inside, but he can't quite make it. Delmont's very late on the brakes there, holding it round the outside. Around Sterling's there. Doble has the left side covered here as we go into Clark Curve, but Delmont tucks back in onto the racing line just before the braking zone to get a good run through the corner. Back into third place goes Delmont. I did tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this was going to be a good battle between these two, but it's now a six-way battle. It stretches as far back as Craig Cockrell is. To the inside now goes Mikey Doble on Adam Delmont, who lets him have the inside. Does not want contact, does Adam Delmont. There's already been contact between the two of them. These are very prone to damage, are these MX-5 cars, so you do not want to make too much contact with them. Doble's back into third place here. And cars lining up behind. Dan Skinner battling with Craig Cockrell here. And there's contact again involving Dan Skinner, but he drops back. 8th place here for him as Craig Cockrell, first in category, is just going to have fun with these drivers here. He doesn't need to battle because William Fall, his nearest rival, is quite a few seconds down the road. Mikey Doble moving out of Adam Delmont's slipstream, takes to the inside to guard the inside for Hawthorns, forcing Delmont to that outside line again. Can Delmont power it around the outside? Doble tucks it back in on that optimal line again. So joining this battle is John Higgins Jr. And Mick Clibbins right in the middle of them two there. Doble's broken away a little bit from Delmont here. Might have been a little mistake going through Westfield then from Delmont. And it spaces out these cars just a little bit here. Guarding the inside is Clibbins from John Higgins Jr. By the way, John Higgins Jr. has a very, very good night indeed. Very good night indeed. And in fact, with a few minutes remaining, I'm going to give my Drive of the Day award to John Higgins Jr. What a drive he's had tonight. Honourable mentions do, of course, go to Mikey Doble and Liam McNeilly, to name but a few. William Foyle has also had a good night as well on his debut to the season. Oh, and there's contact back here. Clibbins and John Higgins Jr. come together. And just when I gave the Driver of the Day award to John Higgins Jr., there's contact between him and Nick Clibbins. That sends Clibbins down to 8th position. Here we go. To the inside goes Higgins Jr. Oh, and it just looks like Clibbins moved across on Higgins there under the braking zone. But Higgins will carry on. He'll feel he's innocent in that. That's why he would have driven off. Oh, something's happened further back in the pack. William Foyle and Schooler. Something's happened between them. Here we go. This is Joncarlo Schooler behind William Foyle. Schooler's in the pink. To the inside. Oh, and it's just... Oh, that's a hard one to call. Very hard one to call. William Foyle trying to get into the corner, but on his inside was Schooler. And what was looking like a very decent night for William Foyle has gone away there. It's now a straight fight for these two, 4th, 3rd and 4th. Up the front here is Liam McNeilly, nearly spinning it coming out the final corner as he's got one more lap to go now. The white flag will wave for him as it does on the left there. Rob McGregor is 2nd, and we've got Mikey Doble and Adam Delmont battling here. This will be the big battle to watch on this final lap here. Higgins Jr. has dropped back a little bit. Craig Cockrell pretty much has a win in the bag for the AM category, but Lee Horn has put himself into 2nd in class. That'll mean a 1st and a 2nd in class for him. It's been a very good night for Lee Horn, who reignites his championship chances in the AM category. Doble versus Delmont. Delmont knows in his head where he's going to make the move. Drivers like this plan their overtakes well in advance, based on where their best corners are and where they think the driver ahead is at their weakest. Down the straight we go. Pilgrim's Drop. Quite a way back is Adam Delmont. He has to really, really tie up these last few corners as he gains rapidly at the end of the straight there. Back there we've got Craig Cockrell alongside John Higgins Jr. going around Hawthorns. Oh, and it's contact between the two, and they're going to go into the wall. those positions were in the bag for them, and they decided to make contact, which ruins their race almost. Higgins Jr. is going to limp it back to the pits, but we're going to resume with this battle for third and fourth. It's Doble and Delmont so close together, but Doble had a better corner than Adam Delmont, and he might have broken away. But our race winner here, he won race 1, he got a reverse grid advantage in race 3 here, but he takes another win, and it helps his championship despite the bad race 3. Rob McGregor takes second place, and Mikey Doble stays ahead of Adam Delmont to take 4th position. But your race winner, Liam McNeilly, in the pro category, and in the AM category it will go to Craig Cockrell, despite the drama on the final lap there between him and Higgins Jr., who drops down to 20th place. Lee Horn, finishing rather emphatically there, takes 2nd place in category. 21 places gained for him. A brilliant, brilliant night for him. In fact, I am going to add a driver to the Driver of the Day awards. I'm going to give Lee Horn Driver of the Day award as well, because he's had a miserable start to the season, and today has really, really lifted things up for him. So there we go. John Higgins Jr. and Lee Horn are our drivers of the day. We are just waiting for things to finish up here at Brands Hatch, and then we'll round off the results, and then we'll go into some interviews. Now, if you are drivers, if you are listening, we've got time for 3 interviews tonight. We're going to try and get the main drivers. We'll try and get Mikey Doble, because we couldn't interview him at round 1. And of course, he wasn't here last week. We'll try and get Lee Horn as well. And here we are, a roundup of the results here. The 3rd race, Liam McNeilly takes his 2nd win of the night. Rob McGregor takes a well-deserved 2nd place after what's been a pretty decent night from him. Mikey Doble makes it 3 podiums for himself. 1st, 2nd and a 3rd taken by him. A well-deserved night for him. Adam Delmont takes 4th place after that thrilling battle with Michael Doble for that race. Dan Skinner takes 5th from 1st place in AM category. Craig Cockrell taking his 1st win of the season, I believe. 7th goes to Nick Clibbins with Lee Horn in 8th position. Dan James, his best results of the night, taking 9th position. Mark Anthony McLaughlin, despite the drama on lap 1, takes 10th place and 3rd place in category. A well done to him. Probably his best result in the category, I believe. Jeff Perkis takes 11th place with Paul Scott next. In 12th, Joncarlo Schooler, a dramatic night for him, despite the win in race 1, but he takes 13th overall in this race. Bud Dobson in 14th from Sam Smith, Nigel Stock 16th. Jamie Nicholson will take 17th place from Alan McCain in 18th, and William Foyle in 19th place. John Higgins Jr. takes 20th place after that final lap battle between him and Craig Cockrell or Nick Clibbins. Can't quite remember which one it was. Do excuse me to either of you drivers. Aidan Wilson 21st from William Chadwick, who retired early on. Jamie Dory also retired early on, with Matt Emmons, John Higgins Sr. and Olly Peters rounding off the top 26. 27th going to Michael Lease, James Clark 28th. We have got some interviews lined up. First of all, we are going to pull in what is one of 2 of our drivers of the day. Lee Horn, I'm sure you'd be very pleased to hear that you've got the award that gets you absolutely nothing, but you've had a good line of results tonight, Lee. A resounding win in race 2 and a 2nd place in category in race 3. You must be relieved that your season is back on track now. Oh, hang on, Lee. We can't hear you. Get 2 seconds.
No problem.
There we go. Right, try again, Lee.
Yeah, thanks, Alex, for having me in. I'll take any awards, by the way. So, Driver of the Day, even though I get nothing, it's still an accolade, and I'm happy to take it. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was, to be fair, the season hasn't gone well. Being in the pro category, I don't think I'm quite as good as the pros. So, the instant I get put in the AMs, this happens tonight, which is it's unfortunate timing, but over the moon. I mean, race 1, I spun myself, avoided everybody, went to the back and came back to 14th, which I was really pleased with, completely forgetting that then it was reverse grid top 15. So I was like, right, okay, it started well, safety car came out, and then I'm looking behind me as we come on the GP straight, and I'm staying with the safety car, and I'm thinking, where's everyone else gone? And second place just decided not to bother coming with the rest of the pack. And I'm like thinking, well, I'm staying with the safety car. I'm not breaking any rules. Safety car goes off. I think, well, I'm going. So I just went. And yeah, that was. To be honest, I was getting a bit jittery towards the end because the fast pros were catching me. I was trying to not make any mistakes, and it just held it together. And yeah, I can't believe I think it's my first MX-5 victory in the 2 seasons that we've ran so far.
And outright as well. So yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think that's because it was sort of handed to me a little bit. Let's be fair with that restart. I think it was about a 5.8 second gap I had when I went over the line, and they reeled it back into about 1.2. But yeah, really pleased. And then I was thinking for race 3, which like going to be interesting from the back. So to get into the top 10, I think that's where I was. I can't believe that. So yeah, really, really, really enjoyable, nice racing. I think with everybody I came across, we had some really great battles. Certainly with Dan James just now in that race 3 there was some fantastic battling. We didn't touch each other. We were side by side for corner after corner. So yeah, very pleasing after the last few rounds, which I've been pretty dismal about, to be honest. So nice to get on the board there. So.
Yeah, talking about the last few rounds, I mean, coming into this round, has your mind treated the racing a little bit different now, knowing that you're in the AM category, which for yourself, critiquing yourself, you feel a bit more competitive in? Have you come into this round with a completely different mindset, knowing that you're going to be battling with other drivers who are probably a bit more level with you in your eyes?
Yeah, I definitely felt more comfortable, so I was a little bit more relaxed. And I know when I'm relaxed, I sort of race better. I mean, to be fair, the last 2 rounds, Red Bull Ring and Knockhill, I've made my own errors and made contact with others, which for me is a bit of a dent on my self-esteem, because I class myself as a really clean driver. So I sort of beat myself up a little bit as well. Didn't help really going into Knockhill. So yeah, having the pressure off of thinking, well, I'm just going to be plodding around at the back with other amateurs that are genuinely quicker than me. Maybe not as consistent sometimes, but certainly quicker in lap time. So yeah, so coming into this, it was definitely a sort of a light nerve, and I think, right, well, I'm just going to go at this in my normal relaxed, enjoyable sort of mindset, and it came off. Yeah, it's come off really well. I need to see how it carries on. I've already had a lot of stick from Jamie, because he obviously would move me back, and he's like, right, I'm gonna have to put you back in the pros, and I went, well, hang on a minute, I don't think that's quite fair, but we'll see what he decides to do. It's his series, of course, but no, thoroughly enjoyed that. Much more relaxed for me, and yeah, just it was nice.
Good stuff. Right, up next we've got Alton Park. Fallout without chicane, so it's going to be very, very high speed. Not a lot of great big braking zones. Kind of like this track in a sense. But how's Alton Park for you?
I haven't been there for a while in any of the series that I've been racing in, to be honest. So I do enjoy Alton Park. I've not raced in a long, long time the version without chicane. So I think in these cars they should be fun. I do remember Alton Park, obviously,
in the Legends.
Chicane, I think, in the Legends. And didn't we do them in the Mazdas last season? We did.
I don't think we did. No, I seem to remember we did them in the Legends, though. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's where I'm thinking back to, because I don't. Apart from that, then I haven't been on for any other cars. So yeah, I do really enjoy Alton Park. I think it should be a really good battling track again for everybody. And yeah, I really look forward to it.
Excellent stuff, Lee. Well, driver of the day, race 2 winner, and race 2 runner-up. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before you disappear? I've seen your wife has just appeared on the Facebook stream, so yeah, who do you want to shout out to, Lee?
Oh yeah, that'd be really nice. Hi, honey. Thanks for tuning in right at the end when the race is finished, as usual. But at least you got here in the end. So yeah, and as usual, thanks to all of NXTGEN sponsors, yourself obviously for doing everything that you do, the broadcasts, and yeah, and everyone else that races with us and turns up.
Great stuff, Lee. Well, congratulations. Brilliant, brilliant night for yourself. Driver of the day and race winner. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Alex.
There we go, Lee Horn. There you go, Mia. You can disappear now. Your husband's gone, and he's he's ready for dinner now. But yeah, what a night that was from Lee Horn. Race 2 winner. Race 3 runner-up. Race 1 I can't quite remember where he finished, but a good night for him. A breakthrough race for him, seeing as rounds 1 and 2 didn't quite go to plan for him. So let's move on to our next interview. The agony of choice here. There's quite a lot to choose from, but I am going to pull in Mikey Doble. So Mikey, we didn't interview you in round 1, but we are going to interview you today. I'm sure you're pleased about. But quite the night for you. 3 podium finishes for you tonight, and I think you gained something like a total of 50 positions or something like that tonight. Yeah, just talk us through your night.
Yeah, well, I was really happy with the pace out there tonight. I do generally go okay around this track, but obviously I missed last week, so just trying to regain some of the lost ground. But no, I was a little bit disappointed with my qualifying because I topped the practice session and I never really got the right circumstances with the toe in qualifying and ended up P5. But no, the pace was there to win the first race. Just maybe another lap, or should have planned my racing a little bit better around William to keep in touch with Liam. And then yeah, from race 2 and race 3, it's just trying to come back through the pack without getting involved in an accident and being there at the end when it counts.
Absolutely. Now, I believe it was race 2. There are a lot of last gas moves from you tonight, which were great to watch, by the way. Now, there was a particular battle in race 2 between you and William on the penultimate corner. We can't, unfortunately, see it on the stream because we're in a different race. But just talk us through. I assume you know what move I'm going on about here, but just talk us through the build-up to that and what happened during it as well.
Yeah, I mean, essentially we were racing for the win because Lee is in the AM class, so it was as much points on the line as if Lee wasn't there at all. So you know, it's 2 corners to go, and I'd sat behind William for a couple of laps trying to catch Lee and pull away from the other guys, and well, I think I caught him off guard a bit going into, it's not usually an overtaking spot, into that left-hander, and I was 4/5 of a car length up the inside on the apex, and I did what any other racing driver would do and stand my ground on the exit. So you know, I think it was harsh but fair. You know, I don't think I broke any rules with that move, but yeah, I've had that done to me plenty of times and I haven't complained, so I'm sure he'll understand.
All spoken like a true racing driver there. Absolutely. This has been quite a good night for you. Yes, you did miss round 2 of the championship, but there are drop rounds to consider in this. Heading into Alton Park, momentum's definitely in your favour with 2 top 3 places tonight. But how is Alton Park for yourself?
Yeah, I like Alton. It's actually, well, we're running the layout without the chicanes, which will be interesting, but it's actually got a lot of similar characteristics to Brands GP. And I think I tend to go better around some of the British tracks compared to my competition around maybe some of the foreign tracks which I haven't raced on so much. Plus it helps that I've done Alton in real life as well this year in a car that's pretty similar to these Mazdas. So I think the momentum should be with me going into that. I've just got to try and tidy up my qualifying a bit and try and get some more wins to claw back some points.
Well, claw back some points. I think he definitely did tonight. But before you head off, Mikey, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors, etc.?
Yeah, I'll say hello to my ever-growing audience sitting with their iPads and televisions and whatnot. My family downstairs. My dad, who's down the garage repairing my brother's race car ahead of this weekend, who's watching. My grandparents watching from their settee at home, and auntie and uncle, I believe, you know who you are, watching from the settee if you're still watching. And thanks for the great commentary again.
No problem at all, Mikey, no problem. Yeah, great racing tonight, Mikey. We'll see you next time at Alton Park. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So there we go, that was Mikey Doble, and to remind you, 3 podiums tonight, including a race 2 win. You got a P2 in race 1 and a P3 in race 3 in the end, battling with Adam Delmont towards the end of this race. You saw him while the interview was going on there. We saw him from the end of the safety car period to now, where he has just picked off driver after driver. He's just able to get through the pack so well, which is crucial in a series like this. Big grids and close competitive driving with very evenly matched cars across the grid, you need that caliber in your racing arsenal. Right, we have got time for one more interview. Now, who is it going to be? We've got a lot of drivers to choose from here. I'm not entirely sure who to choose. In fact, we might not go with anyone just yet, because I have a feeling they're all chatting amongst themselves rather than waiting for an interview. So we'll round off the night with just going through the results here for the final race of the night. Liam McNeilly took the win. 2 wins tonight for him, but it was a disappointing race 2 for Liam, but he is back into winning form again, is McNealy. Second place goes to Rob McGregor with Mikey Doble in third. First in the AM category went to Craig Cockrell. Second in the AM category went to Lee Horn. And third to Mark Anthony McLaughlin, which I believe was one of his best results of the season. This has been the Next Gen Racing MX-5 Cup. Round 3 here at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. I've been Alex Everett on behalf of Crest Autosport. Next week, it is the Alton Park International with no chicanes, as we discussed with Lee Horn and Mikey Doble just then. I will not be here next week, but the commentary and broadcasting will be delivered to you by Paul Walsh, the ever-reliable Paul Walsh. And we'll be back next week here on the channel, Crest Autosport TV on YouTube and Twitch, and also on Next Gen Racing Facebook. Thank you very much for watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time at Alton Park. Good night.